Hello everyone. In this video, you are going to learn some advanced concept to enhance the look of your website. So first let's speak about the rounded corners. Okay. So now you learned how to add border to your website, right? So how to add border, or how when you set a background color, then automatically how the background color will appear in the padding region of the web page. Okay. So web element. So now we are going to see how to change the border appearance. Okay, rounded, how to bring in the rounded corner. For example, let's look at it in the web W3 school website. You can see to bring in that rounded corner effect, you have to use the property called border radius property. So note it down. Border radius property will help you to bring in the rounded corner effect. So when you specify one value for border radius, that one pixel value will be applied on all four sides. When you specify two values, then the first value will be applied on top left and bottom right, and the second value, for example here 20 pixels, that will be applied on top right and bottom left. Okay, so this is 20 pixels. You can see these two corners are 20 pixels and these two corners are very well rounded, that is 50 pixels corners. Okay, so this is how you can customize your border or any the shape of an object, okay, using the border radius property. Okay, so that is one more property that is associated with border customization. Along with the borders style, color, and then width, you can also give border radius to change the look of the border. Okay, so that is border radius. And then the next property is centering the page content. Okay, so how you can center the page content. For example, you can look at this web page. You can see this page is centered so that it's not sticking to the left side. It is centered. How this can happen? Like you can just leave some space here and here. Okay, so you can say this particular page is, it seems like it is 60 percentage. It takes the web page viewport as 60 percentage, but you can say normally 80 percentage. 80 percentage of the viewport will be taken. So this is the normal default coding for centering the page content. So normally it will be 80%, but if you want, you can change it to 60 or whatever percentage you want. You can just change this width. Okay, you know what the width property will do, right? So for the whole web page, that is the particular width display that we want to apply. And then margin left is going to be auto, margin right is going to be auto, and the only criteria that is taken is the whole viewport. From the whole viewport, only 80% of the space should be taken for displaying the content. So this is the default coding to center the page content. So next property that we are going to see is box shadow property. Okay, so first let's explore it in W3 School website. So box shadow is the property name that you have to use. What this property will do. So you can see the first value is like it will bring in the shadow effect for any element. It could be a header, it could be a paragraph, or it could be a whole page, whole web page. Whatever the element, you have to apply it on a selector. Okay, and then there the shadow property will be brought. So the box shadow property, how these values will be taken by the browser. So if you say 5 pixels, the 5 and 10 pixel, the 5 pixel value will be taken for horizontal offset. Okay, so this 5 pixel will be taken for horizontal offset, and the 10 pixel second value will be taken for vertical offset. Okay, for example, let's say the first value is going to be 50. So do you see? The 50 pixel is going to be taken for the horizontal. So this horizontal offset value, and the second value is 10 pixels. Let's say that as 500. So do you see? By changing this 5 pixels value, if you change it to 4 pixels, if you change it to 1 pixel, so it will be taken the whole. So from this, how many space indentation you have to give, that one is kind of will be the horizontal offset value. Here you say 10 pixel value. So let's say it as 50 pixel value, you can see it will just display half from here, 50 pixel values. Okay. Okay, so the second value, so first value is for horizontal offset and the second value is for vertical offset. And if you want to change the color, normally if you're not specifying any color, the color value will be inherited from the text color. But if you want to change the color value, then you can give it as a third value. You can specify some hexadecimal value as a third value. Okay, so that is box shadow. And then if you want to change the position of the background from here to here in the top, then you can just specify -5 and then -10. Do you see this 5 pixel? I'm changing it to -5 pixels. For example, see, it's a horizontal value is 5 pixels and -10 pixels. If I am changing this horizontal offset to -5, then you can see it appears in the right side. And if I say -10, then you will see -10, it will bring this shadow to the top, from the bottom to top. Do you see? -5 will bring it to right side, left side, and the -10 will bring it to top side, top. Okay. So this minus plus means it is vertical and that is bottom and right. Minus means that is first minus means that is for right side, left side, and the second minus, the second offset is for the horizontal negative value. That is, it will, instead of by default it is bottom. If you give minus, then it will be taken for the top border. Okay, so this is how it will appear with the box shadow. And the next shadow property, you can bring in any shadow. You can see, you can look at this image. We have brought some shadow effect. Okay, so there are different styles that you could follow to bring in the shadow effect. You can see the inherit, insert, offset. You can just try it. The gray, different color values, right? Insert value. Okay, so there are different values and different styles you can apply to bring in the shadow effect. I recommend you to explore W3 School website to explore it further. Okay, so the next property that we are going to see is text shadow property. How to bring in the shadow effect on the text images. Okay, so text, not text. So here also the same thing. If you are giving two values, the first value will be taken for horizontal offset and the second value will be taken for vertical offset. And if you give positive value, that will be taken for left side, and negative value will be taken for right side. And similarly in the vertical offset, the positive will be taken for bottom and the negative will be taken for top. And the blur radius, that means how thick the shadow effect should be. By default it is 0, but if you give third value, even in the border radius, if you give the third value, that will be taken for the thickness of the shadow. Okay, so and then color value, as usual you can specify the color value as well. Okay, let's explore this in W3 School website for the text shadow property. You can see it is 2 pixels in the left and right. For that 2 pixels, so exactly it specifies it in left side. But if you want to bring it to the right side, then you can just say this. And similarly, this is on the bottom side. If you want to bring it to the top side, then you have to give the second value as negative, then it will go to the top side. And also if you want to change the width of the shadow, then you can just say 5 pixel width, then it will increase the width. Okay, and then here you have specified the hexadecimal color value. Okay, so that is about text shadow property. And next video we're going to learn some more concepts on background images. Okay, see you in the next video.